fact sheet. So what do you think this means for us as NOSAs, and what do you think this means for the industry moving forward? Um, this is my take. So usually once things get passed, it's a hard chance ability to undo. So that's primarily why we decided to, with the support of other NOSAs, to start the work group, because you really want to stop, curtail, or be involved with the decision making of stuff like this in your respective states, so that you're able to have some say so. So I didn't go into the full jits of everything that's in there. It's here in the comments, but some ways that you can still manage and have a sustainable business are some of the thoughts that I think most NOSAs and the NOSA that messaged me were thinking, like, how can you sustain business? Like, you can't charge an employer or a client for sick leave. That's a responsibility you take on as an employer. And that's who they reference in the actual um, FAQ page. So that's not something that you can pass on directly to your clients. Could there be some ways to work around it? Potentially, but I think this is definitely an opportunity to get with your tax professionals to kind of figure out, are there other tax breaks or other benefits that you're not taking advantage of? And then you want to think about the accrual process. So, like, what does the process look like? And I'm not sure that they gave full details for them to accrue it and be able to use it. So having the sick leave is one thing, but using it is something else. So you want to think about things like, hey, how long do they have to be with my organization in order to be able to use it? Is that somewhere where I can have some flexibility? Two, if an employee leaves the organization, does the language listed say anything in regards to having to pay out sick leave? And traditionally, and it's private versus public, so it's all a little bit tricky, you don't have to pay out sick leave. But I don't know. So that's something that you want to at least research and find out some answers about. And then also, how am I going to incorporate this, but maybe not offer benefits, or could this be a time that I need to think about offering benefits to other traditional benefits to my employees? One of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is because, much like the healthcare staffing regulations, this and many other laws, things of that nature that'll come down the pipeline this year, it impacts how we do business as far as from a financial standpoint of view. What does that look like? How do we set up things differently? And with things happening so quickly, you really want to make sure that, one, you meet the qualifications. And based on what I read, just about everybody who employs in the state of New York will meet the qualifications, unless they're like a freelance type of person. Two, if you're in a state or neighboring state, you want to make sure or find out if your state is also looking to introduce something similar. The minimum amount of sick leave hours was 40. So you want to make sure in your employee manual, your policies and procedures, you have clear and specific language around how people accrue it, which New York gave guidance, but also how they're able to use it. And receive payment for it. And it can look a little bit tricky in our industry because there is that no call, no show element of our business. So you really want to sit down and get clear about what that's supposed to be. So I'm giving it and passing it on to all my New York NOSAs. We have quite a few, new and old. Definitely feel free to give your take on it. Drop your comments in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking and feeling, and even some ideas that you may have as far as solutions to this particular law around sick leave. And then if you're in a neighboring state or a state that may have pending legislation on it, what are you thinking about, and what are some ways that you're incorporating it? And then, of course, finally, for those who do it anyway, because we definitely have some established NOSAs that do sick leave, kind of what was your thought process? What were you thinking? And how have you been able to use it in your business? So thanks for hanging out with me. That's our Tuesday Talk About It topic. I am going to head out, but I'll be back tonight chiming in a little bit more. Drop your comments in the comment section so that way everybody can see it. The video isn't that long. Intentionally, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's not something that I've seen happen in a long time. So I definitely love to hear from those in New York and surrounding areas and people who are already doing it, kind of how they're managing it, especially on the per diem side of things, where people are just working per day, as well as travel contracts, like how you're managing some of that. So feel free to chime in and sound off, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.